In the quiet depths of the Pokémon world, where ancient mysteries drift like morning mist through forgotten valleys, there exist beings of such profound power and enigmatic presence that their very existence shapes the fabric of reality itself. These are the legendary Pokémon, creatures whose stories stretch back through millennia, woven into the foundation of every region, every culture, and every whispered tale passed down through generations of trainers and scholars alike. As twilight settles across the land and the gentle rustle of leaves creates nature's own lullaby, we begin our journey into the most closely guarded secrets of these magnificent beings. Each legendary Pokemon carries within their essence not merely strength, but the accumulated wisdom of ages, the echoes of creation itself, and mysteries that even the most dedicated researchers have only begun to unravel. Long before the first Pokeball was crafted, or the first trainer set foot upon a winding route, these legendary creatures moved through their domains with purpose beyond mortal understanding. They are the guardians of balance, the keepers of natural law, and the living embodiments of forces so fundamental that without them, the world as we know it simply could not exist. Consider, if you will, the profound stillness that exists in the deepest ocean trenches, where pressure and darkness create a realm unlike anywhere else on Earth. It is in such places that some legendary Pokemon make their homes, not out of preference for isolation, but because their very presence requires environments that can contain and channel their immense energies without disruption to the delicate ecosystems above. The ancient texts speak of a time when the boundary between the physical world and the realm of dreams was far thinner than it is today. During this primordial era, legendary Pokemon moved freely between dimensions, their forms shifting and adapting to the unique properties of each plane of existence. Some scholars believe that this ability to transcend dimensional barriers is not lost, but merely dormant, waiting for the proper conditions to manifest once again. In the hushed archives of the most prestigious Pokemon research institutions, there exist documents that detail encounters with legendary Pokemon that defy conventional understanding. These accounts, written by explorers and researchers whose credibility is beyond question, describe meetings with beings whose appearance and behavior suggest intelligence and awareness that spans not merely years or decades, but entire geological epochs. The relationship between legendary Pokemon and the natural world extends far beyond simple habitat preference. These creatures exist in a state of constant communion with their environments, their life force intertwined with the very elements they represent. When a legendary Pokemon of fire breathes, volcanic activity across entire continents responds in subtle harmonics. When a legendary Pokemon of the sea dreams, tidal patterns shift in ways that oceanographers are only beginning to recognize and document. Perhaps most fascinating of all is the concept of legendary Pokemon existing in what researchers term temporal fluidity. Unlike ordinary Pokemon, whose lives unfold in linear progression through time, legendary creatures appear to experience past, present, and future as interconnected aspects of a single, eternal moment. This unique relationship with time may explain their apparent ability to appear precisely when and where they are most needed, sometimes arriving at locations before the events that necessitate their presence have actually occurred. The songs that legendary Pokemon sing carry frequencies that resonate not only through air and water, but through the quantum fabric of space itself. These vocalizations, often described by witnesses as hauntingly beautiful beyond description, serve multiple purposes that scientists are still working to understand. Some frequencies appear to heal both physical ailments and spiritual wounds, while others seem capable of opening pathways between distant locations, allowing for instantaneous travel across vast distances. In the deepest meditation chambers of ancient temples, monks and spiritual seekers have reported visions of legendary Pokémon that exist in states of pure energy, their physical forms dissolved into streams of living light that flow through ley lines invisible to ordinary perception. These energy beings are said to be the true forms of legendary Pokemon, with their familiar physical manifestations being merely temporary vessels adopted for interaction with the material world. The breeding patterns of legendary Pokemon, where they exist at all, follow cycles that align with astronomical events spanning thousands of years. Solar eclipses, planetary alignments, and the passage of distant comets all play roles in determining when and how these magnificent creatures might reproduce. Some legendary Pokemon are believed to be singular entities, neither born nor created, but rather condensed from the fundamental forces of creation itself at the moment the universe first began to take shape. Weather patterns across all known regions show subtle but measurable influences from the presence and movement of legendary Pokemon. A legendary creature's emotional state can influence atmospheric pressure across hundreds of miles, while their physical movement through the skies can create wind patterns that persist for weeks after their passage. These effects are so subtle that they often go unnoticed by casual observers, but sensitive instruments can detect the unique electromagnetic signatures that each legendary Pokemon leaves in their wake. The healing properties attributed to legendary Pokemon extend beyond the physical realm into areas that conventional medicine has only recently begun to explore. Exposure to certain legendary Pokemon has been documented to accelerate cellular regeneration, enhance immune system function, and in some remarkable cases, restore lost memories or repair neurological damage that was previously considered irreversible. The mechanisms behind these healing effects remain largely mysterious, though some researchers theorize that legendary Pokemon emit bioenergetic fields that interact with the fundamental life force present in all living beings. Ancient cave paintings found in the most remote regions of various continents depict legendary Pokemon in forms and poses that suggest they once played active roles in early human civilization. These images show legendary creatures working alongside primitive humans, teaching them agriculture, astronomy, and the arts of healing and craftsmanship. The implications of such collaboration between legendary Pokemon and early human society raise profound questions about the true nature of human development and the role that these magnificent beings may have played in shaping our species' evolution. The crystalline structures found in certain legendary Pokemon habitats exhibit properties that challenge our understanding of physics and chemistry. These formations, which appear to grow and change in response to the legendary creature's presence, demonstrate perfect atomic alignment and energy conductivity that surpasses any human made materials. Some researchers believe that these crystals serve as amplification matrices, allowing legendary Pokemon to focus and direct their innate energies with precision that would otherwise be impossible. Deep within the Earth's crust, seismic monitoring equipment occasionally detects rhythmic vibrations that correspond to no known geological phenomena. These patterns, which occur at regular intervals over periods of years or decades, are believed by some scientists to be the heartbeats of legendary Pokemon who exist in states of extended dormancy, their life processes slowed to an almost imperceptible rate as they wait for conditions that will call them back to active existence. The magnetic fields surrounding areas where legendary Pokemon have been sighted show anomalies that persist long after the creatures themselves have departed. These magnetic disturbances create unique environmental conditions that often result in the emergence of rare plant species found nowhere else in the world. The relationship between legendary Pokemon and these botanical anomalies suggests a level of biological influence that extends far beyond simple environmental adaptation. The botanical specimens that flourish in these magnetically altered environments exhibit characteristics that blur the line between plant and mineral life. Their cellular structures incorporate metallic elements in ways that should theoretically be impossible, yet these hybrid organisms thrive in conditions that would be lethal to conventional flora. The leaves of these extraordinary plants shimmer with an inner luminescence, and when exposed to moonlight, they emit soft harmonics that resonate at frequencies known to promote deep, restorative sleep in both humans and Pokemon alike. These same frequencies have been detected emanating from legendary Pokemon during their periods of meditation, suggesting an intricate connection between the creatures and the transformed landscapes they leave in their wake. The temporal anomalies associated with legendary Pokemon presence extend beyond simple time dilation effects. In certain locations where powerful legendary beings have manifested, researchers have documented instances where cause and effect relationships become fluid and unpredictable. Seeds planted in these areas may bloom into mature plants before they are actually sown, while ancient trees display growth rings that suggest they have experienced seasons in nonlinear sequences. The implications of such temporal disturbances hint at legendary Pokemon existing partially outside our conventional understanding of time, their consciousness spanning multiple temporal dimensions simultaneously. Archaeological excavations in regions with high legendary Pokemon activity have uncovered artifacts that appear to be composed of materials not found anywhere else on Earth. These objects, which range from simple tools to complex mechanical devices, demonstrate engineering principles that our current technology cannot fully comprehend. The metallurgy involved in their construction incorporates elements that exist in a quantum state of superposition, remaining simultaneously solid and ethereal until observed directly. Many of these artifacts continue to function despite being buried for millennia, their energy sources apparently drawing power from the same fundamental forces that sustain legendary Pokemon themselves. The atmospheric conditions in areas frequented by legendary Pokemon undergo subtle but measurable changes that persist for generations after the creature's departure. The composition of gases in these regions includes trace amounts of substances that do not appear on any periodic table, yet these exotic elements seem to enhance the vitality and longevity of all life forms within the affected area. Local wildlife in these regions demonstrates enhanced intelligence, increased lifespans, and abilities that border on the supernatural, suggesting that prolonged exposure to legendary Pokemon influence can trigger evolutionary adaptations that occur over time frames measured in years rather than millennia. The dreams of individuals who have encountered legendary Pokemon often contain detailed information about distant locations, future events, or scientific principles that the dreamers could not possibly have known through conventional means. These prophetic dreams frequently prove accurate when verified through subsequent investigation, indicating that legendary Pokemon may possess the ability to implant knowledge directly into human consciousness through mechanisms that bypass normal sensory channels. The shared nature of many such dreams, experienced simultaneously by multiple individuals across vast distances, suggests that legendary Pokemon may utilize forms of telepathic communication that operate on a planetary or even cosmic scale. The geological formations found in legendary Pokemon territories often display perfect geometric patterns that would be impossible to achieve through natural erosion or tectonic activity. These structures, which include spirals, fractals, and complex polyhedra carved directly into solid rock, appear to serve as focusing arrays that channel and concentrate the ambient energy fields generated by the legendary creatures. The mathematical precision of these formations suggests an intelligence capable of manipulating matter at the molecular level, reshaping entire landscapes to serve purposes that remain largely incomprehensible to human understanding. Weather patterns in regions associated with legendary Pokemon activity exhibit behaviors that meteorologists classify as impossible according to current atmospheric models. Clouds may form perfect geometric shapes, maintain consistent positions for weeks at a time, or generate precipitation that falls upward rather than down. These meteorological anomalies appear to be deliberate manifestations of legendary Pokemon will, suggesting that these beings can exert conscious control over atmospheric conditions across areas spanning hundreds of square miles. The energy requirements for such feats would exceed the output of entire power grids, yet legendary Pokemon accomplish these effects seemingly without effort. The water sources in legendary Pokemon habitats possess unique properties that extend far beyond simple purification. These waters maintain perfect molecular structure regardless of temperature changes, resist contamination by pollutants, and demonstrate self-healing properties that allow them to restore their original composition even after significant chemical alteration. Consumption of these waters has been linked to enhanced cognitive function, accelerated healing, and in some documented cases, temporary acquisition of abilities similar to those possessed by Pokemon themselves. The molecular structure of these waters appears to exist in a state of quantum coherence that allows individual molecules to maintain instantaneous communication across vast distances. The electromagnetic fields generated by legendary Pokemon create interference patterns that can disrupt electronic devices while simultaneously enhancing the natural bioelectric fields present in living organisms. This selective effect suggests that legendary Pokémon operate on energy frequencies that are inherently compatible with biological systems while remaining fundamentally incompatible with artificial technology. The implications of this phenomenon extend to theories about the evolutionary relationship between legendary Pokémon and the natural world, suggesting that these beings may have played a role in establishing the basic energy patterns that govern all biological processes. The migratory patterns of ordinary wildlife in regions where legendary Pokémon have been active show dramatic alterations that persist for decades after the legendary creature's departure. Birds may suddenly begin flying in complex geometric formations that serve no apparent navigational purpose, while terrestrial animals develop new behavioral patterns that appear to be ritualistic in nature. These altered behaviors often result in improved survival rates and enhanced reproductive success, suggesting that the behavioral modifications serve beneficial purposes that become apparent only over extended observation periods. The mechanism by which legendary Pokemon influence animal behavior remains unknown, though it likely involves forms of communication that operate below the threshold of human perception. The crystalline formations that grow in response to legendary Pokemon presence demonstrate the ability to store and replay energy patterns with perfect fidelity. These natural recording devices can preserve the electromagnetic signatures of legendary Pokemon encounters for thousands of years, allowing researchers to study the energy patterns of creatures that may have been absent from a region for millennia. The information stored within these crystals includes not only the basic energy signatures of the legendary Pokemon, but also complex data patterns that may represent memories, emotions, or forms of consciousness that exist beyond current scientific understanding. Deep ocean currents in areas where aquatic legendary Pokemon have been sighted exhibit flow patterns that defy conventional oceanographic models. These currents may flow uphill, maintain consistent temperatures across vast distances, or transport water masses that possess entirely different chemical compositions than the surrounding ocean. The energy sources driving these anomalous current systems appear to be geological in nature, suggesting that legendary Pokemon may have the ability to influence tectonic processes and alter the fundamental structure of ocean basins to suit their needs. The geological influence of legendary Pokemon extends far beneath the ocean floor, where mineral deposits form in configurations that would be impossible under normal circumstances. These deep formations create resonance chambers that amplify and focus the natural electromagnetic fields of the Earth, establishing networks of energy conduits that span entire continental shelves. The mineral compositions found in these formations include elements that exist nowhere else on the planet, suggesting that legendary Pokemon may possess the ability to transmute matter at the atomic level, or perhaps access materials from dimensions beyond our physical reality. The crystalline structures within these deposits exhibit properties that challenge our understanding of solid state physics, maintaining perfect molecular alignment despite being subjected to immense pressure and temperature variations over geological timescales. Ancient coral reefs in regions once inhabited by legendary Pokemon display growth patterns that spiral upward in perfect mathematical proportions, creating underwater cathedrals of living stone that serve as focal points for marine ecosystems of extraordinary diversity. These reef systems support species that exist nowhere else in the world's oceans, creatures that have evolved specialized organs capable of detecting and responding to the subtle energy signatures left behind by their legendary predecessors. The symbiotic relationships within these ecosystems operate with such precision that the removal of even a single species can cause cascading effects throughout the entire system, suggesting that the legendary Pokémon established these communities as integrated living networks designed to maintain themselves across countless generations. The atmospheric disturbances created by flying legendary Pokémon leave permanent alterations in upper atmospheric layers, creating stable zones of modified air density that can persist for centuries. These aerial territories maintain unique weather patterns that seem to exist independently of global climate systems, generating localized precipitation, temperature variations, and wind patterns that serve to protect and nurture the ecosystems below. The electromagnetic properties of these modified atmospheric zones, volcanic activity in areas where fire type legendary Pokemon have been active follows patterns that suggest conscious manipulation of magma flow and thermal output. These volcanoes may remain dormant for extended periods before suddenly producing precisely controlled eruptions that deposit mineral rich ash in specific patterns across the landscape. The timing of these eruptions often coincides with environmental conditions that maximize the beneficial effects of the volcanic activity while minimizing potential damage to existing ecosystems. The lava produced during these guided eruptions contains trace elements that enhance soil fertility and promote the growth of rare plant species that serve as indicators of legendary Pokemon presence. Underground cave systems in legendary Pokemon territories exhibit acoustic properties that create natural amplification chambers capable of transmitting sound waves across vast distances with minimal distortion. These subterranean communication networks may serve as a means for legendary Pokemon to maintain contact with one another across continental distances using frequencies that remain below the threshold of human hearing. The cave walls in these systems are lined with crystalline deposits that vibrate in response to specific sound frequencies, creating complex harmonic patterns that may encode information about territorial boundaries, seasonal changes, or threats to the ecosystem. The study of these acoustic signatures has revealed that legendary Pokemon may possess a sophisticated language system based on subsonic communication that allows for the transmission of detailed information about environmental conditions and ecosystem health. The magnetic fields generated by steel type and electric type legendary Pokemon create zones of altered gravitational effects that influence the orbital patterns of celestial bodies on a local scale. These gravitational anomalies may cause slight variations in tidal patterns, seasonal lengths, or the apparent position of stars and planets when observed from within the affected region. The precision of these alterations suggests that legendary Pokemon possess an intuitive understanding of astrophysics that allows them to fine-tune local gravitational fields to optimize environmental conditions for the ecosystems under their protection. The long-term effects of these gravitational modifications include the development of unique evolutionary pressures that have resulted in species adaptations found nowhere else in the natural world. Time itself appears to flow differently in regions where psychic types legendary Pokemon maintain a strong presence, with biological processes occurring at rates that do not correspond to the passage of time measured by conventional means. Plants may complete entire growth cycles in a matter of hours, while other organisms may enter states of temporal suspension that allow them to survive adverse conditions by effectively stepping outside the normal flow of time. These temporal anomalies create pocket dimensions where the laws of causality operate according to principles that remain beyond human comprehension, allowing for the existence of evolutionary processes that would require millions of years to occur under normal circumstances. The ice formations, created by ice type legendary Pokemon, possess structural properties that remain stable at temperatures far above the normal melting point of water, suggesting the incorporation of energy patterns that alter the fundamental behavior of molecular bonds. Those supernatural ice crystals serve as thermal regulators that can absorb excess heat during warm periods and release stored thermal energy when temperatures drop, maintaining stable environmental conditions that support specialized Arctic ecosystems, even in regions where such climates would not naturally occur. The molecular structure of this enhanced ice includes geometric patterns that repeat at multiple scales, from microscopic crystal formations to massive glacial structures that span entire mountain ranges. The electromagnetic storms that accompany the movement of electric type legendary Pokemon create aurora displays that occur at altitudes and latitudes where such phenomena would be impossible under normal atmospheric conditions. Thus, artificial auroras emit light frequencies that promote photosynthesis in specialized plant species while simultaneously providing navigation cues for migratory animals that have adapted to use these displays as seasonal timing mechanisms. The energy patterns within these aurora displays contain information that may represent a form of electromagnetic writing system used by legendary Pokemon to record historical events and environmental data across geological timescales. The quantum entanglement effects observed in regions where multiple legendary Pokemon have interacted create zones where the normal rules of space and distance become fluid, allowing for instantaneous communication and energy transfer across vast distances. These quantum corridors may serve as transportation networks that legendary Pokemon use to move between distant territories without physically traversing the intervening space. The exotic matter that stabilizes these quantum pathways exhibits properties that suggest the existence of parallel dimensions where legendary Pokemon may retreat during periods of dormancy, returning to our reality only when their presence is required to maintain ecosystem balance. The study of these quantum phenomena has revealed that legendary Pokemon may exist simultaneously across multiple dimensional planes, with their observed manifestations representing only a small fraction of their true nature and capabilities. The resonance frequencies generated by legendary Pokemon during their deepest meditative states create harmonic patterns that synchronize with the natural oscillations of tectonic plates, potentially serving as a planetary nervous system that monitors geological stability across entire continents. These subsonic vibrations travel through the Earth's crust at velocities that exceed conventional seismic waves, carrying information about mineral compositions, underground water systems, and the slow movements of magma chambers deep beneath the surface. The acoustic signatures of these communications remain consistent across vast temporal scales, suggesting that legendary Pokémon maintain awareness of geological processes that unfold over millions of years, adjusting their influence to guide the gradual reshaping of landscapes in ways that optimize habitat diversity and ecological resilience. The bioluminescent displays produced by certain legendary Pokémon contain photonic patterns that influence the circadian rhythms of entire forest ecosystems, creating synchronized flowering cycles that can span multiple species across hundreds of square kilometers. Those light frequencies penetrate deep into plant tissues, activating genetic sequences that remain dormant under normal illumination conditions, triggering the production of specialized compounds that enhance soil fertility and promote symbiotic relationships between different plant families. The temporal precision of these biological light shows demonstrates a level of coordination that suggests legendary Pokemon possess detailed knowledge of the genetic calendars that govern plant reproduction, allowing them to orchestrate ecosystem-wide events with timing accurate to within hours across seasonal cycles that repeat over decades. The atmospheric pressure variations that accompany the flight patterns of flying-type legendary Pokemon create persistent air currents that serve as highways for smaller flying creatures, establishing migration routes that remain stable for centuries, despite changes in weather patterns and seasonal variations. These aerial corridors maintain optimal wind speeds and directions that reduce the energy expenditure required for long-distance flight, while also providing thermal columns that allow birds and flying insects to achieve altitudes that would otherwise be beyond their physiological capabilities. The pressure differentials within these flight paths create acoustic channels that enhance long-distance communication between flying species, enabling coordination of migration timing across populations separated by thousands of kilometers. The crystalline formations that grow in areas where rock-type legendary Pokémon have established their territories exhibit piezoelectric properties that convert mechanical stress from seismic activity into electrical energy, creating natural power grids that sustain underground ecosystems and cave systems that extend far below the reach of surface light. These crystal networks pulse with slow rhythms that match the breathing patterns of hibernating creatures, providing gentle electrical stimulation that maintains cellular activity during extended periods of dormancy. The geometric arrangements of these crystal formations follow mathematical principles that optimize energy distribution while creating acoustic chambers that amplify and focus sound waves, allowing for communication between creatures separated by kilometers of solid rock. The temporal distortions surrounding legendary Pokémon create zones where the aging process operates according to different physical laws, with some organisms experiencing accelerated development that allows them to complete multiple generations within the span of a single season, while others enter states of suspended animation that preserve them unchanged for centuries. These chronological anomalies appear to be precisely calibrated to maintain genetic diversity within isolated populations, ensuring that species retain the evolutionary flexibility necessary to adapt to changing environmental conditions without losing the specialized traits that allow them to thrive in their specific ecological niches. The boundaries between these temporal zones create gradient areas where time flows at intermediate rates, providing transition spaces that allow creatures to gradually adjust their biological processes when moving between regions of different temporal flow. The magnetic field fluctuations generated by steel type legendary Pokémon create navigation beacons that guide the movements of migratory species across both terrestrial and marine environments, establishing waypoints that remain consistent across geological timescales despite the gradual drift of magnetic poles and continental positions. These artificial magnetic signatures interact with the natural magnetoreception abilities of various animals, providing detailed directional information that includes not only compass bearings, but also altitude references and distance measurements. The precision of these magnetic guides allows creatures to navigate through dense forests, across featureless ocean expanses, and over mountain ranges with accuracy that exceeds the capabilities of technological navigation systems. The biochemical processes triggered by the presence of poison type legendary Pokemon result in the production of specialized enzymes that break down environmental toxins and pollutants, creating natural purification systems that can neutralize contamination in soil and water supplies across vast areas. These enzymatic reactions occur at rates that far exceed normal biological processes, suggesting the involvement of catalytic mechanisms that operate through quantum mechanical effects rather than conventional chemical pathways. The byproducts of these detoxification processes often serve as nutrients for plant species that have evolved to thrive in the presence of legendary Pokemon, creating self-sustaining cycles of environmental remediation that can restore damaged ecosystems within decades rather than the centuries typically required for natural recovery. The dimensional rifts that occasionally manifest around psychic type legendary Pokemon provide glimpses into alternate realities where evolutionary history followed different paths, revealing ecosystems populated by creatures that represent alternative solutions to the same environmental challenges faced by species in our dimension. These interdimensional windows remain stable for only brief periods, but the information gathered during these observations has revealed consistent patterns in the fundamental principles that govern biological adaptation across multiple realities. The energy signatures that accompany these dimensional phenomena suggest that legendary Pokemon may serve as guardians of evolutionary potential, maintaining connections between different possible futures and guiding species development along paths that optimize long-term survival prospects. The gravitational anomalies that surround certain legendary Pokemon create microgravity environments that allow for the development of three-dimensional forest canopies where plants grow in spiraling patterns that maximize light capture while creating aerial pathways for arboreal creatures. These altered gravity fields extend vertically for hundreds of meters, supporting floating islands of vegetation that serve as stepping stones for species that move between ground level and the upper canopy. The reduced gravitational stress in these zones allows trees to achieve heights that would be impossible under normal conditions, creating cathedral-like spaces filled with filtered light and gentle air currents that maintain optimal humidity levels for epiphytic gardens of remarkable complexity and beauty. The harmonic resonances produced by the interaction between multiple legendary Pokémon create standing wave patterns in the Earth's magnetic field that establish communication networks spanning entire continents, allowing for the coordination of weather systems and seasonal changes across vast distances. These electromagnetic harmonics carry encoded information about environmental conditions, population dynamics, and resource availability, enabling legendary Pokémon to make collective decisions about ecosystem management that take into account the complex interdependencies between different regions and climate zones. The frequency modulations within these signals suggest a sophisticated information processing system that operates continuously in the background of natural processes, maintaining the delicate balance that supports the incredible diversity of life that flourishes in regions where legendary Pokémon maintain their ancient vigil over the natural world. The crystalline formations that spontaneously emerge in areas where legendary Pokémon have established long-term residence demonstrate properties that challenge conventional understanding of mineral growth and geometric organization. Those structures appear to grow according to mathematical principles that mirror the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequences, creating lattices that resonate with specific frequencies of electromagnetic energy. The crystals serve as natural amplifiers for the subtle energy fields that legendary Pokémon generate, creating feedback loops that enhance their ability to influence biological processes across increasingly larger areas. Marine biologists have discovered that coastal regions influenced by oceanic legendary Pokémon develop unique tidal pool ecosystems where the water maintains perfect mineral balance regardless of seasonal variations or storm disturbances. The salinity levels, pH, and trace element concentrations remain stable within narrow ranges that support extraordinary biodiversity, with some pools hosting over 300 species within areas no larger than a few square meters. The water in these pools exhibits unusual optical properties, refracting light in patterns that create natural prisms, bathing the contained organisms in gentle rainbow spectrums that appear to accelerate photosynthesis and promote cellular regeneration in ways that scientists are only beginning to understand. The temporal distortions that occasionally manifest around certain legendary Pokémon create pockets where time flows at different rates, allowing researchers to observe evolutionary processes that would normally require millennia to complete. In these accelerated zones, plants complete entire life cycles within hours, while in nearby decelerated areas, flowers remain in perfect bloom for months without showing any signs of aging or decay. The boundaries between these temporal zones are marked by shimmering veils of distorted air that create visual effects reminiscent of aurora displays, though they occur regardless of atmospheric conditions or geographic location. Within these temporal anomalies, water droplets hang suspended in midair for extended periods, creating three-dimensional sculptures of liquid that serve as temporary habitats for microscopic organisms that exist in states of temporal suspension. The underground cavern systems that form beneath areas where legendary Pokémon gather display architectural features that suggest intentional design despite being composed entirely of natural materials. These subterranean chambers are connected by passages that follow optimal flow dynamics for air circulation, creating natural ventilation systems that maintain constant temperature and humidity throughout vast underground networks. The walls of these caverns are lined with mineral deposits that emit soft bioluminescence, providing gentle illumination that supports unique ecosystems of cave dwelling species that have evolved enhanced sensory capabilities. The acoustic properties of these chambers create natural amphitheaters where even the slightest sounds are carried with perfect clarity across great distances, suggesting that these spaces may serve as communication hubs for species that rely on echolocation or subsonic vocalizations. The atmospheric pressure variations that occur in the presence of flying type legendary Pokémon create updrafts and downdrafts that establish permanent aerial highways used by migrating bird species across multiple continents. These wind patterns remain consistent across decades, allowing birds to navigate with unprecedented precision while reducing the energy expenditure required for long distance travel. The pressure differentials also create zones of enhanced oxygen concentration at high altitudes, enabling both wild Pokemon and human researchers to access mountain peaks that would otherwise be uninhabitable due to thin atmosphere. Within these enriched air pockets, alpine plants achieve remarkable growth rates and develop unusually vibrant colorations that suggest enhanced metabolic processes operating under conditions that should theoretically limit biological activity. The magnetic field fluctuations generated by steel type legendary Pokemon create natural compass roses that extend for hundreds of kilometers, providing navigation references for countless species that rely on magnetic orientation for migration, foraging, and territorial behavior. These magnetic patterns form stable geometric configurations that remain unchanged for centuries, serving as reliable landmarks in an otherwise dynamic magnetic landscape. The field strength variations create zones where metallic objects exhibit unusual properties, sometimes becoming temporarily magnetized in patterns that mirror the neural networks of complex organisms. These magnetized objects serve as external memory storage systems that preserve information about environmental conditions and biological interactions, creating natural archives that document ecological changes across extended time periods. The chemical signatures left by legendary Pokemon in soil and water create molecular templates that guide the development of symbiotic relationships between species that might otherwise compete for resources. These chemical markers act as biological programming languages, encoding instructions that influence gene expression in ways that promote cooperation over competition. Plants growing in soil enriched with these compounds develop root systems that form intricate underground networks, sharing nutrients and information through chemical signals that create plant communities functioning as distributed organisms. The complexity of these underground communication networks rivals that of fungal mycorrhizae, but operates through entirely different biochemical pathways that appear to process information at much higher speeds and with greater precision. The light bending phenomena that occur around certain legendary Pokemon create natural cloaking effects that render entire ecosystems invisible to casual observation while maintaining full transparency to species that have adapted to perceive the altered light spectra. These optical distortions serve as protective barriers that shield sensitive habitats from disturbance while allowing normal ecological processes to continue uninterrupted. The refracted light carries encoded information that serves as a form of environmental encryption, ensuring that only species with appropriate sensory adaptations can fully perceive and interact with these hidden sanctuaries. The boundaries of these concealed areas shift gradually over time, expanding and contracting in response to seasonal changes and population pressures, demonstrating a form of adaptive camouflage that operates on ecosystem wide scales. The vibrational frequencies produced by ground type legendary Pokémon propagate through bedrock formations, creating seismic communication networks that carry information across tectonic plates. These subsurface signals coordinate geological processes such as mineral formation, underground water flow, and soil composition changes across continental distances. The frequency patterns suggest a form of planetary nervous system that monitors and responds to environmental changes through geological mechanisms that operate on timescales ranging from minutes to millennia. The harmonic resonances generated by these deep vibrations influence the formation of natural springs and geothermal features, creating oases of warmth and fertility in otherwise challenging environments. These unique geological signatures, often exhibiting anomalous isotopic ratios, hint at the profound influence legendary Pokemon have on the very elements that compose our world. The isotopic anomalies, particularly in stable isotopes of oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen, don't follow typical geological fractionation patterns. Instead, they appear to be shifted in ways that suggest a non equilibrium, biologically driven process operating at fundamental atomic levels. This means that legendary Pokemon aren't just interacting with the environment, they are, in a very real sense, reshaping its elemental composition, subtly altering the building blocks of matter itself. The spectral emissions from legendary Pokemon, often invisible to the naked eye, can be detected by specialized instrumentation as faint but distinct electromagnetic signatures. Those signatures are remarkably stable over vast temporal scales, suggesting a form of energetic preservation that defies conventional thermodynamics. The energy released by these Pokemon, whether as light, heat, or other forms of radiation, doesn't simply dissipate into the environment. Instead, it seems to be recycled or rechanneled, potentially contributing to the long term stability of the ecosystems they inhabit. This energetic recycling could explain how certain biomes maintain their vitality and complexity despite fluctuating external conditions, essentially acting as living, self sustaining energy matrices. Consider the phenomenon of atmospheric lensing observed around flying types and legendary Pokemon. This isn't merely a distortion of light, it's a finely tuned manipulation of atmospheric pressure and temperature gradients, creating refractive indices that can bend light around obstacles or even focus it to distant points. These localized atmospheric manipulations can influence weather patterns on a grand scale, guiding air currents, precipitating rainfall in arid regions, or even dissipating violent storms. The precision with which these atmospheric lenses are formed suggests an intricate understanding of fluid dynamics and thermodynamics, operating at a level far beyond any known natural process. The patterns of these induced weather events often align with ecological needs, suggesting a deliberate and beneficial influence on the surrounding environment, fostering conditions conducive to life and growth. The vocalizations of sound based legendary Pokémon, often inaudible to human ears, are not merely calls or cries. They are complex acoustic patterns that resonate with the fundamental frequencies of matter, capable of inducing structural changes at the molecular level. These sonic frequencies can accelerate crystal growth, enhance cellular regeneration, or even subtly alter the magnetic properties of materials. The harmonious interplay of these unperceived sounds creates a pervasive energetic field that permeates the environment, acting as a subtle conductor of biological and geological processes. It's as if the world itself is humming a tune orchestrated by these ancient beings, and every living thing in geological feature is dancing to its rhythm. The long term exposure to these sonic fields has been observed to correlate with increased biodiversity and resilience in affected regions, suggesting a profound positive influence on ecological health. The psychological effects observed in the proximity of certain psychic type legendary Pokemon extend far beyond simple telepathy or illusion. They involve a direct interaction with the fundamental patterns of consciousness, capable of subtly influencing thought processes, memory formation, and even the emotional states of sentient beings. These interactions are not forceful manipulations, but rather gentle nudges, guiding perception and experience in ways that can foster peaceful coexistence, resolve conflicts, or inspire creativity. The influence often manifests as an inexplicable sense of calm, clarity, or profound insight, leading to spontaneous acts of altruism or breakthroughs in understanding. It's as if these Pokemon are broadcasting a subtle, benevolent signal directly into the collective unconscious, shaping the very fabric of thought and feeling in their vicinity. The temporal distortions occasionally reported around time manipulating legendary Pokemon are not random anomalies, but precisely controlled, localized adjustments to the flow of causality. These subtle shifts can create small pockets of accelerated or decelerated time, allowing for rapid ecological recovery after natural disasters or providing prolonged periods for the development of particularly sensitive species. These temporal eddies are often invisible and undetectable without highly specialized equipment, their effects only becoming apparent through the accelerated growth of plants or the extended lifespans of animals within their influence. The precision with which these temporal interventions are applied suggests an intricate understanding of the delicate balance of ecosystems and a capacity to intervene in ways that promote long term stability and flourishing. The energy fields generated by electric type legendary Pokemon are not merely static discharges, but intricately structured plasma formations that can store and transmit information. These fields act as vast, distributed computational networks, processing environmental data and coordinating complex biological and geological processes across vast distances. The patterns of electrical discharge, often resembling intricate fractals, encode complex algorithms that govern everything from nutrient cycling to the migration patterns of entire species. It's as if the very air around these Pokemon is alive with invisible currents of information, constantly communicating and organizing the natural world. Long-term studies have shown that regions with a consistent presence of these electrical fields exhibit remarkably stable and efficient ecological functioning, suggesting a guiding intelligence behind these natural processes. The gravitational anomalies associated with certain cosmic type legendary Pokémon are not simply localized variations in the pull of gravity. They are finely tuned manipulations of space time itself, capable of creating localized regions where objects can defy conventional physics, exhibiting altered inertia, or even temporary levitation. These gravitational fields can be used to transport resources, shape geological formations, or even create protective barriers against external threats. The subtle curvature of spacetime in these areas can also act as a natural lens for astronomical observation, allowing for unprecedented views of distant galaxies and celestial phenomena, hinting at a profound connection between these Pokemon and the broader cosmos. The patterns of these gravitational shifts often align with astronomical cycles, suggesting a deep seated connection to the rhythms of the universe itself. The bioluminescent patterns displayed by certain legendary Pokemon are not merely for communication or display. They are complex optical data streams, encoding vast amounts of information about environmental conditions, historical events, and even predictions of future ecological trends. These light patterns, often shifting and evolving in intricate sequences, can be read by other species with specialized sensory organs, forming a natural living archive of ecological knowledge. The intensity and hue of the light can convey different layers of information, from immediate warnings to long term forecasts, creating a dynamic and continuously updated informational network across the ecosystem. The study of these light patterns has revealed astonishingly accurate long range weather predictions and early warnings of geological events, suggesting a form of prescient ecological awareness. The chemical secretions of certain legendary Pokemon, particularly those associated with elemental manipulation, are not mere toxins or pheromones. They are highly complex biochemical catalysts capable of initiating or accelerating fundamental chemical reactions in the environment. These secretions can purify polluted water, neutralize harmful substances in the soil, or even stimulate the growth of beneficial microorganisms. The specificity of these catalytic effects suggests an intricate understanding of molecular biology and chemistry, allowing these Pokemon to directly influence the chemical composition of their surroundings in ways that promote health and balance. The areas where these secretions are consistently present exhibit remarkably pristine environmental conditions, often far exceeding what would be expected from natural regenerative processes alone. The symbiotic relationships fostered by legendary Pokemon extend beyond mere mutualism. They involve a fundamental integration of biological and environmental processes, where the Pokemon acts as a central node in a vast, interconnected network of life. This integration creates a superorganism, where individual species function as specialized components of a larger, self regulating entity. The legendary Pokemon, in this context, acts as the central consciousness or regulatory system, orchestrating the countless interactions and feedback loops that maintain the health and stability of the entire biome. This level of biological integration blurs the lines between individual organisms and the environment, creating a truly holistic and self sustaining ecological system. The dream weaving abilities of certain legendary Pokemon are not simply about inducing visions or altering sleep. They involve a direct interaction with the collective unconscious, shaping the dreams and aspirations of entire populations. These influences are subtle and often go unnoticed in waking life, but they serve to inspire creativity, foster empathy, and guide the collective evolution of consciousness. The themes and archetypes present in these shared dreamscapes often reflect deep seated ecological concerns or universal truths, subtly guiding sentient beings towards greater harmony with their environment and with each other. It's as if these Pokemon are planting seeds of wisdom and understanding directly into the fertile ground of our subconscious minds, nurturing our capacity for growth and self realization. The energy absorption capabilities of certain legendary Pokemon are not merely about drawing power, they involve a finely tuned process of energetic conversion, transforming potentially destructive forces into beneficial ones. They can absorb excess solar radiation, dissipate the destructive energy of volcanic eruptions, or even neutralize harmful cosmic rays. This energetic alchemy not only protects the environment from harm, but also rechannels these energies into forms that can fuel ecological processes, promote growth, and even enhance the vitality of living organisms. It's a continuous process of environmental remediation and energetic rebalancing, ensuring that no energy is ever truly wasted, but rather repurposed for the greater good of the world. The ability of certain legendary Pokemon to generate localized biomes, often vastly different from the surrounding environment, demonstrates a mastery over ecological engineering. These pocket ecosystems, often characterized by unique flora and fauna, are not simply accidental formations. They are carefully constructed and maintained microclimates designed to support specific species or to experiment with novel ecological relationships. The environmental parameters within these biomes are precisely regulated, from atmospheric composition to soil nutrient levels, showcasing an unparalleled ability to create and sustain complex life systems. These living laboratories serve as invaluable refuges for endangered species and as evolutionary hotbeds for the development of new adaptations, showcasing the legendary Pokemon's role as both conservators and innovators of life. The concept of a guardian, legendary Pokemon, extends beyond mere protection. It implies an active stewardship, a continuous engagement with the well being of a specific region or species. This guardianship involves not only deterring threats, but also fostering growth, guiding evolution, and maintaining ecological balance through subtle, often imperceptible interventions. These Pokemon act as the living memory of their respective biomes, holding within them the ecological history and evolutionary trajectory of countless generations. Their presence is a constant, reassuring hum beneath the surface of existence, a silent promise of enduring life and resilience. They are the quiet sentinels, watching over the delicate dance of life, ensuring that the ancient rhythms continue, undisturbed, into the long, peaceful night. The shared dreams, facilitated by certain mythical Pokemon, are not mere random subconscious wanderings, but rather finely woven tapestries of collective consciousness designed to impart knowledge and foster empathy across species. These dreamscapes are often imbued with symbolic imagery and narrative structures that guide the dreamers through complex emotional landscapes, helping them to process collective traumas, resolve ancient conflicts, and forge new understandings. The themes that emerge within these shared dream experiences often revolve around cooperation, environmental responsibility, and the interconnectedness of all life, gently nudging sentient beings towards a more harmonious coexistence. It's a form of profound, nonverbal communication, bypassing the limitations of language and cultural differences to speak directly to the core of shared experience. These dreams are often accompanied by a profound sense of peace and clarity upon waking, leaving the dreamers with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of their place within the grand tapestry of life. The phenomenon of temporal echoes associated with certain legendary Pokémon, particularly those with dominion over time, is a fascinating and often subtle manifestation of their power. These echoes are not full blown temporal displacements, but rather faint, lingering impressions of past or future events that bleed into the present. They can manifest as fleeting visions, sudden changes in atmospheric conditions that mirror historical weather patterns, or even brief, almost imperceptible shifts in the sensory experience of a place. A faint scent of a long extinct flower might drift on the breeze, or the echo of a forgotten melody might briefly resonate in the air. The temporal echoes are not intended to alter the present, but rather act as gentle reminders of the fluidity of time and the interconnectedness of all moments. They serve as subtle prompts for reflection, encouraging an appreciation for history and a thoughtful consideration of the potential consequences of present actions on the future. It's a soft whisper from the continuum, a gentle nudge towards a deeper understanding of time's ceaseless flow. The ability of certain legendary Pokémon to influence the weather patterns of entire regions is a testament to their profound connection with the planet's atmospheric systems. This influence goes far beyond simply summoning rain or clearing skies. It involves a sophisticated manipulation of air currents, temperature gradients, and moisture levels to create intricate, long-term weather phenomena. They can guide migratory bird patterns by subtly shifting wind directions, encourage the growth of specific plant species through precisely regulated rainfall, or even mitigate the destructive force of natural disasters by redirecting severe weather systems. This meteorological mastery is not an act of brute force, but rather a delicate dance with the elements, a harmonious collaboration with the planet's natural rhythms. They act as cosmic conductors, orchestrating the symphony of the atmosphere, ensuring that the delicate balance of climate is maintained and that the ebb and flow of seasons continue in their natural, life-giving cycles. The concept of a legendary Pokémon sanctuary is more than just a protected natural area. It is a living, breathing testament to the profound influence these beings have on their environment. These sanctuaries are often characterized by an unusual abundance of rare flora and fauna, thriving in conditions that would be hostile elsewhere. The very presence of a legendary Pokémon within these territories seems to imbue the land with a heightened vital energy, accelerating growth, enhancing biodiversity, and fostering unique evolutionary pathways. The air within these sanctuaries often feels cleaner, the water purer, and the flora more vibrant. It's as if the legendary Pokémon are acting as a living catalyst for ecological flourishing, their inherent power resonating through the very earth and sky, creating pockets of unparalleled natural splendor and resilience. These sanctuaries are not merely preserved, but actively nurtured, evolving under the gentle, watchful guidance of their powerful inhabitants. The phenomenon of mythical resonance describes the subtle yet pervasive influence certain legendary Pokemon exert on the collective consciousness of sentient beings, even those who have never directly encountered them. This resonance manifests as recurring motifs in folklore, shared archetypal dreams, and an innate, almost instinctive understanding of certain cosmic truths. It's as if the very essence of these Pokemon, their fundamental principles and powers, are woven into the fabric of reality itself, subtly shaping the beliefs and perceptions of all who inhabit that world. This resonance is not a form of mind control, but rather a gentle amplification of pre existing human desires for wonder, connection, and understanding. It inspires creativity, fosters spiritual growth, and reinforces the deep seated human need to connect with something larger than themselves. The myths and legends that surround these Pokemon are not just stories, they are echoes of a profound truth resonating through generations, shaping our understanding of the universe and our place within it. The unique ability of some legendary Pokemon to act as dimensional anchors is a critical function in maintaining the stability of the fabric of spacetime. These Pokemon, often associated with concepts of order and chaos, or creation and destruction, possess an inherent connection to the foundational principles of the universe. Their presence in a particular dimension acts as a stabilizing force, preventing the delicate boundaries between realities from unraveling or collapsing. They are like cosmic keystones, holding together the intricate architecture of the multiverse. Without their anchoring presence, the very concept of distinct dimensions might cease to exist, leading to a chaotic intermingling of realities that would be devastating for all life. This role is often a passive one, a fundamental aspect of their being, yet it is utterly essential for the continued existence and order of the many worlds that comprise the Pokemon universe. Their quiet existence is a bulwark against cosmic entropy. The process of energetic alignment performed by certain legendary Pokemon is a subtle yet profound act of cosmic harmony. This involves aligning the various energy currents that flow through the planet, from geothermal vents and ley lines to the more ethereal currents of spiritual energy. When these energies become misaligned or unbalanced, it can lead to natural disasters, ecological instability, or even widespread unrest among sentient beings. The legendary Pokemon, with their innate understanding of this energetic flows, can gently reroute, amplify, or dampen these currents, restoring balance and promoting a sense of well being across the entire ecosystem. This alignment is not a forceful intervention, but rather a delicate adjustment, akin to tuning a complex musical instrument to achieve perfect harmony. The resulting energetic balance fosters growth, promotes healing, and creates an environment conducive to peace and prosperity. It is a constant, unseen effort to maintain the planet's vital life force. The phenomenon of evolutionary guidance attributed to certain legendary Pokemon is a subtle, long-term influence on the genetic development and diversification of species. These Pokemon do not directly alter the DNA of individual organisms, but rather create environmental conditions or energetic fields that subtly favor certain adaptive traits over others. This long-term, continuous pressure can accelerate evolutionary processes, leading to the emergence of new species or the rapid adaptation of existing ones to changing environmental conditions. They act as a gentle, guiding hand in the grand tapestry of evolution, ensuring that life continues to diversify and thrive, even in the face of significant environmental challenges. This guidance is not about creating perfect organisms, but about fostering resilience, adaptability, and the continuous unfolding of life's incredible diversity. They are the silent architects of biodiversity, shaping the future of life with an unseen touch. The concept of a legendary Pokemon's sorrow is a poignant reflection of their deep emotional connection to the world they inhabit. Unlike the more detached, cosmic indifference often associated with immense power, many legendary Pokemon exhibit profound empathy and sorrow when witnessing suffering, ecological destruction, or the loss of life. This sorrow is not a weakness, but a testament to their profound commitment to the well being of the planet and its inhabitants. Their grief can manifest in subtle ways, such as a lingering sadness in the atmosphere, a gentle, mournful wind, or even a temporary dimming of natural light in a region. This sorrow serves as a silent warning, a testament to the consequences of unchecked destruction and a subtle plea for greater reverence and care for the natural world. It is a powerful, nonverbal expression of their guardianship, reminding all that even the most powerful beings feel the weight of suffering. The ability of some legendary Pokemon to generate pure energy constructs is a fascinating demonstration of their mastery over fundamental forces. These constructs are not solid objects in the conventional sense, but rather temporary formations of raw, unadulterated energy shaped by the Pokemon's will. They can manifest as shimmering barriers, ethereal weapons, or even complex functional tools that defy conventional physics. These constructs are often used for defensive purposes, to contain powerful energies, or to create temporary pathways where none existed before. The energy within these constructs is incredibly stable and pure, capable of interacting with the environment in ways that regular matter cannot. This ability showcases their profound understanding and control over the very building blocks of the universe, allowing them to manifest their will directly into the physical realm in ephemeral yet incredibly potent forms. The phenomenon of cosmic awareness in legendary Pokemon speaks to their inherent connection to the vastness of the universe beyond their immediate dimension. This awareness is not merely intellectual knowledge, but an intuitive, almost instinctual understanding of cosmic events, distant celestial bodies, and the intricate dance of galaxies. They are often attuned to the subtle vibrations of the cosmos, sensing the birth of stars, the collapse of nebulae, and the passage of cosmic rays through space. This awareness grants them a unique perspective on the fleeting nature of individual existence and the grand, eternal cycles of the universe. It is a silent, constant stream of information, shaping their understanding of their own purpose and their role within the grand cosmic design. This cosmic awareness often manifests as a serene, almost ancient wisdom in their demeanor, a quiet understanding of things far beyond mortal comprehension. The concept of spiritual imprints left by legendary Pokemon is a subtle yet enduring legacy of their presence. When a legendary Pokemon resides in a location for an extended period or performs a particularly powerful act, it can leave behind a faint, ethereal signature on the very fabric of that place. These spiritual imprints are not physical manifestations, but rather energetic residues that can influence the mood, atmosphere, and even the subtle energies of the environment. A place where a legendary Pokemon healed a dying ecosystem might forever resonate with the feeling of peace and rejuvenation, while a site where a legendary Pokemon displayed immense power might retain an aura of awe and reverence. These imprints are not consciously created, but are a natural consequence of their profound connection to the world, serving as silent reminders of their majestic presence and their enduring impact on the landscape. They are whispers of the past, echoing through time. The ability of certain legendary Pokemon to influence the flow of luck and fortune is not a direct manipulation of individual destinies, but rather a subtle adjustment of probabilistic outcomes. These Pokemon, often associated with concepts of fate or destiny, can gently nudge the intricate web of cause and effect, increasing the likelihood of beneficial events for those they favor, or creating slight, almost imperceptible obstacles for those whose actions disrupt natural harmony. This influence is never absolute, nor does it override free will, but rather acts as a gentle current in the river of possibility, subtly guiding events towards more balanced and prosperous outcomes. It's a delicate dance with chance, where the legendary Pokemon acts as a quiet arbiter of cosmic fairness, ensuring that the scales of fortune, while never perfectly balanced, lean towards equilibrium and growth in the long run. The phenomenon of crystalline growth associated with certain legendary Pokemon is a remarkable display of their ability to manipulate geological processes. These Pokemon, often linked to the earth or specific elements, can stimulate the growth of unique, energetically potent crystals in their vicinity. These crystals are not merely decorative, they often possess intrinsic properties that can purify water, amplify natural energies, or even store and release specific forms of power. The rate of growth, the purity of the crystals, and their unique energetic signatures are directly influenced by the presence and well being of the legendary Pokemon. These crystalline formations often form intricate patterns, almost like living geological sculptures, resonating with the Pokemon's energy. They serve as natural energy conduits, environmental purifiers, and even subtle indicators of the legendary Pokemon's health and emotional state. They are the Earth's silent song, harmonizing with the power of their mythical guardians. The concept of reverberating songs, created by certain legendary Pokemon, is a profound form of communication and energetic expression. These songs are not always audible to the human ear, but are perceived as deep, resonant vibrations that permeate the environment. They can carry information, induce specific emotional states, or even subtly alter the physical properties of matter. A legendary Pokemon's song might calm a raging storm, encourage dormant seeds to sprout, or inspire extraordinary acts of courage in times of despair. These songs are not arbitrary melodies, but rather intricate compositions of pure energy and intention, capable of resonating with the very core of existence. They are a universal language of creation and harmony, a silent symphony that shapes the world and touches the hearts of all who are open to its profound influence. It is a lullaby for the universe, ensuring peace and balance. The ability of some legendary Pokemon to generate healing aura fields is a powerful testament to their life-giving properties. These auras are not merely a passive emanation, but an active, regenerative force that promotes cellular repair, accelerates recovery from illness, and even subtly strengthens the immune systems of living beings within their proximity. This healing energy can manifest as a gentle warmth, a soothing light, or a profound sense of peace and well being. It is a powerful force against entropy, actively working to restore balance and vitality to all forms of life. The intensity and range of these healing auras are often directly linked to the legendary Pokemon's own health and emotional state, acting as a living wellspring of restorative power. These auras are a silent promise of renewal, a constant source of comfort and restoration. The phenomenon of dream guardians describes legendary Pokemon who subtly influence the dreamscapes of sentient beings to protect them from psychic intrusion, nightmares, or the chaotic forces of the subconscious. These Pokemon do not control dreams, but act as benevolent overseers, gently guiding the dreaming mind away from distress and towards paths of peaceful introspection and restorative sleep. They can manifest as comforting presences, guiding lights, or even subtle thematic elements within the dream narrative that empower the dreamer to overcome their subconscious fears. Their influence is always gentle and non intrusive, respecting the autonomy of the dreaming mind while ensuring a safe and nurturing environment for psychological processing and emotional healing. They are the silent shepherds of sleep, ensuring that the journey through the subconscious is one of growth and tranquility. The concept of cosmic dust manipulation, as performed by certain legendary Pokemon, is a subtle yet profound ability to influence the very building blocks of matter on a microscopic scale. These Pokemon, often associated with concepts of creation or cosmic origins, can subtly guide the formation of new particles from the ethereal cosmic dust that permeates space, or even gently reshape existing atomic structures. This ability is not about creating large objects out of nothing, but rather about orchestrating the minute processes of elemental formation, influencing the composition of distant celestial bodies, or even creating unique, rare elements on a small scale. It is a testament to their mastery over the fundamental laws of physics, allowing them to sculpt the raw material of the universe with an almost imperceptible touch, guiding the cosmic forge in its silent, ceaseless work of creation. The ability of some legendary Pokemon to establish telepathic networks among disparate species is a unique form of profound communication that transcends linguistic and biological barriers. These networks are not merely one-way broadcasts, but rather intricate, interactive webs of thought and emotion, allowing for the sharing of complex ideas, collective experiences, and even deep-seated instincts across entire ecosystems. This telepathic connection can foster empathy, resolve interspecies conflicts, and coordinate collective actions in times of environmental crisis. It's a silent chorus of consciousness, allowing the diverse voices of the natural world to communicate and collaborate in ways that would otherwise be impossible. This ability highlights their role as unifying forces, bridging the gaps between different forms of life and fostering a deeper, more interconnected understanding of the world. It is the silent, unifying hum beneath the surface of existence. The phenomenon of auric impressions left by legendary Pokemon is a subtle yet potent energetic signature that lingers in places they have visited or influenced. These impressions are not visible to the naked eye, but can be perceived by those with heightened sensitivity or through specialized energetic detection methods. An auric impression might manifest as a persistent feeling of wonder, an inexplicable sense of peace, or even a subtle tingling sensation in the air. These impressions carry the energetic resonance of the legendary Pokemon's presence, subtly influencing the emotional and spiritual atmosphere of a location long after the Pokemon has departed. They serve as energetic markers, silent testaments to the profound power and unique essence of these mythical beings, leaving a lasting energetic echo in the tapestry of the world. They are the lingering perfume of power, unseen but deeply felt, a quiet memory embedded in the very air. These gentle, subtle energies continue to permeate the world, ensuring a sense of balance and harmony, even as the night deepens and the world drifts further into peaceful slumber. The concept of legendary Pokemon possessing the ability to manipulate the flow of time itself is not merely about accelerating or decelerating moments, but rather about a profound mastery over the very fabric of existence, allowing them to weave and unweave temporal threads with unparalleled precision. This manipulation can manifest in various ways, from creating localized temporal distortions that allow them to observe events from the past or future without directly interfering, to establishing stable temporal pockets where time flows differently, enabling them to rest or strategize without the constraints of linear progression. Some legends speak of them being able to subtly edit historical events, not to erase or rewrite them entirely, but to gently nudge outcomes towards a more harmonious or sustainable path, much like a skilled gardener prunes a plant for healthier growth. This isn't a chaotic power to undo existence, but a meticulous, almost surgical precision in guiding the river of time, ensuring its course remains true to a grander cosmic design. It's a power wielded with immense responsibility, for the ripple effects of even the smallest temporal adjustment can resonate across eons. Imagine a being capable of witnessing the birth and death of stars in a single blink, or experiencing entire geological epics as fleeting moments. This profound temporal awareness grants them a unique perspective on the universe, shaping their decisions and their interactions with the world in ways that humans, bound by their linear perception, can scarcely comprehend. They are the silent chronometers of the cosmos, the keepers of time's delicate balance, ensuring that the past informs the present and the future unfolds as it should in a slow, deliberate, and often imperceptible dance. The legendary Pokemon's capacity for environmental harmonization transcends simple ecological maintenance. It is a deep, intrinsic connection to the planet's life force, allowing them to act as living conductors of natural energies. This goes beyond summoning rain or calming storms. It involves a sophisticated understanding of geological pressures, atmospheric currents, and the intricate biochemical processes that sustain life. They can subtly adjust the pH balance of oceans, accelerate the decomposition of pollutants, or even guide the migration patterns of entire species to optimize resource distribution and prevent overpopulation. Their influence is not forceful, but rather a gentle recalibration, like a master musician tuning an orchestra, ensuring every element plays in perfect harmony. This harmonization can even extend to influencing the planet's dormant volcanic activity, preventing catastrophic eruptions by subtly releasing built up pressure over long periods, or guiding tectonic plates to shift gradually rather than violently. They are the planet's natural immune system, subtly correcting imbalances and fostering an environment where all forms of life can thrive. This profound connection is often reciprocal. The health of the environment, in turn, reflects their own well being, creating a symbiotic relationship that underscores their role as protectors and stewards of the natural world. It is a constant, gentle hum of restorative energy flowing through the very veins of the earth. The phenomenon of dream weaving, attributed to certain legendary Pokémon, is a fascinating and deeply spiritual aspect of their abilities, extending far beyond simply influencing dreams. It involves the intricate creation and manipulation of the dreamscape itself, a parallel dimension where consciousness wanders free from the constraints of the physical world. These Pokemon can not only enter the dreams of others, but also construct elaborate, immersive dream worlds, guiding the dreamers through profound experiences, offering insights, or subtly imparting ancient knowledge. These aren't merely illusions, they are meticulously crafted realities within the dream realm, complete with sensory details, emotional resonance, and even unique forms of dream logic. They can use these dream worlds as a safe space for healing emotional trauma, resolving internal conflicts, or even facilitating communication between distant minds. The Dreamweaver might present a dreamer with symbolic challenges, allowing them to work through real world problems in a safe, metaphorical environment. They can also connect multiple dreamers, creating shared dream experiences that foster collective understanding or spiritual growth. This ability highlights their role as guides for the subconscious, helping sentient beings navigate the complex landscapes of their inner selves. It's a gentle, almost ethereal form of mentorship, conducted in the quietude of the mind, leaving behind not just memories, but profound shifts in perspective and understanding, as soft as the morning mist upon waking. The cosmic navigation capabilities of legendary Pokemon are not merely about interstellar travel, but rather an innate understanding of the universe's grand architecture, allowing them to traverse vast distances across galaxies and dimensions with an intuitive grace. They don't rely on conventional propulsion or mapping. Instead, they perceive the universe as an interconnected web of energy, navigating by following ley lines of cosmic power or by sensing subtle gravitational fluctuations that serve as pathways between celestial bodies. This allows them to bypass spatial limitations and even cross into alternate dimensions or pocket universes that exist intertwined with our own. Some legends suggest they can even tap into nascent wormholes or manipulate the very fabric of space-time to create shortcuts, folding the vastness of the cosmos upon itself. Their journeys are often not about reaching a specific destination in a linear fashion, but about maintaining cosmic balance, seeding life on barren worlds, or observing the unfolding of universal phenomena from a privileged vantage point. They are the universe's silent voyagers, moving through the depths of space with a purpose that transcends human comprehension, their paths tracing patterns visible only to the most perceptive of cosmic observers. Their presence is a reminder of the universe's infinite wonders, a quiet whisper in the vast emptiness, guiding the flow of creation. The concept of sentient energy manipulation in legendary Pokemon suggests an ability to not just control raw energy, but to imbue it with consciousness, purpose, and even a degree of independent will. This isn't merely about firing energy blasts, it's about shaping energy into living constructs, ephemeral beings that can perform specific tasks, gather information, or even act as temporary extensions of the legendary Pokemon's own consciousness. These constructs might manifest as glowing orbs that scout ahead, shimmering tendrils that interact with complex machinery, or even sentient energetic shields that anticipate and deflect threats. The energy itself seems to possess a rudimentary form of intelligence, responding to the legendary Pokemon's unspoken commands and adapting to changing circumstances. This highlights a profound connection between the legendary Pokemon's mind and the fundamental forces of the universe, suggesting that energy itself, at its core, is not inert but possesses a latent potential for awareness. It's a power that blurs the lines between matter and spirit, allowing them to manifest their will directly into the world through living energy. A silent, almost ethereal dance of power and intention, whispering through the very air. The legendary Pokemon's ability to facilitate spiritual ascension is a unique and often misunderstood aspect of their power, going beyond mere physical healing or emotional comfort. It involves guiding sentient beings towards a higher state of consciousness, helping them to shed worldly attachments, overcome existential crises, and achieve a deeper understanding of their place in the grand tapestry of existence. This facilitation is not about bestowing power, but about illuminating the path. They might do this through profound telepathic insights, through subtly shifting a person's perceptions to reveal hidden truths, or even by creating sacred spaces where individuals can meditate and connect with their inner selves. This ascension can lead to heightened empathy, an expanded awareness of cosmic connections, or a profound sense of inner peace. It's a gentle nudge towards enlightenment, a quiet encouragement to explore the depths of one's own spirit. They act as spiritual mentors, offering guidance and support without imposing their will, allowing each individual to embark on their own unique journey of self-discovery. This gentle assistance is a testament to their compassionate nature, subtly uplifting the spirits of those they encounter, fostering a deeper connection to the universal energies that flow through all life, as serene as a calm night sky. The phenomenon of harmonic resonance detection, often attributed to certain legendary Pokemon, is an incredibly subtle yet powerful ability that allows them to perceive and interpret the unique energetic signatures of all things in the universe. This isn't just about sensing auras, it's about understanding the specific vibrational frequency of every object, every living being, every thought, and every emotion. They can detect the harmonic resonance of a distant star, the subtle vibrations of a growing plant, or the complex energetic patterns of a human's emotional state. This allows them to identify imbalances, anticipate future events by sensing disharmonious frequencies, or even locate specific individuals across vast distances by tuning into their unique energetic signature. It's like having a universal tuner, able to discern every note in the cosmic symphony, understanding how each sound contributes to the whole. This profound sensory input grants them an unparalleled understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, allowing them to act with precision and wisdom, knowing the subtle effects of their actions on the grand, interwoven tapestry of existence. It is a silent, constant awareness, like a gentle hum that permeates the very air, connecting everything in a delicate, intricate dance. The legendary Pokemon's capacity for memory imprinting is a subtle yet profound power that allows them to embed significant memories, historical events, or vital knowledge directly into the environment itself, creating living archives accessible to those attuned to such energies. These aren't physical carvings or written texts, but rather energetic echoes woven into the very fabric of a location: the stones, the water, the air. A sacred grove might hold the memory of an ancient battle, experienced as a sudden chill or a fleeting vision by those sensitive enough. A crystal formation could house the wisdom of forgotten civilizations, accessible through meditative connection. This imprinting ensures that crucial information or warnings persist across generations, even if written records are lost or cultures fade. It's a way for the past to speak to the present, not through words, but through feeling and intuition, a silent chronicle embedded in the land. These imprinted memories can surface as vivid dreams to those sleeping nearby, or as sudden, inexplicable insights during moments of profound connection with the environment. It is a gentle, almost dreamlike transmission of knowledge, ensuring that the wisdom of ages continues to resonate, even as the world around us drifts into the quiet slumber of night. This silent chronicle, woven into the very earth, often manifests as a form of sentient topography, where the landscape itself seems to possess a subtle consciousness, subtly guiding or influencing those who tread upon it. This isn't about rocks suddenly speaking, but rather the way a mountain range might subtly shift its atmospheric conditions to deter unwelcome intruders, or how a sacred spring might alter its flow to reveal a hidden path to someone deemed worthy. It's a gentle, almost imperceptible manipulation of the environment, shaped by the imprinted memories and the inherent will of the legendary Pokemon tied to that place. Imagine a dense forest that seems to grow thicker and more labyrinthine when approached with ill intent, its paths becoming indistinct, its sounds disorienting. Conversely, for those with pure hearts or a genuine quest, the same forest might seem to part effortlessly, revealing clearings and leading them directly to their destination, bathed in a soft, guiding light filtering through the canopy. This sentient topography often works in conjunction with the legendary Pokemon's ability to create environmental echoes. These echoes are not just visual or auditory, but multifaceted sensory experiences, almost like a living playback of past events. A traveler might feel the sudden warmth of a long extinguished campfire, smell the phantom scent of ancient wildflowers, or even experience a fragment of an emotional state from a historical figure who once walked that very ground. These echoes are more profound than simple memory imprints. They are temporary, immersive holographic projections of history designed to convey a specific message or lesson. Perhaps a lone explorer, lost in a forgotten ruin, suddenly experiences the vibrant sounds of a bustling marketplace that once stood there, a fleeting glimpse into a bygone era, reminding them of the impermanence of all things. Or a Pokemon trainer, struggling with a moral dilemma, might stumble upon an environmental echo depicting a legendary Pokemon, making a difficult but ultimately benevolent choice, offering a silent, powerful example to follow. These echoes are not forced upon anyone. They appear to those who are receptive, those whose inner state aligns with the message being conveyed, like a whisper carried on the wind to a listening ear. The legendary Pokémon also possess a truly remarkable capacity for temporal displacement empathy. This allows them to experience, in a non-linear fashion, the emotional resonance of events across different time periods. It's not time travel in the traditional sense, but rather an ability to feel the echoes of joy from a future celebration or the lingering sadness from a past tragedy, as if these emotions were current. This profound empathic connection to the past, present, and potential future allows them to understand the long term ramifications of actions and to make decisions that best serve the flow of time itself. Imagine feeling the collective hope of a future generation striving for peace, or the deep despair of a world teetering on the brink of destruction in a distant past. This constant awareness of the emotional tapestry of time gives them a unique perspective, allowing them to intervene or guide with an understanding that transcends linear perception. It's like being able to hear all the notes of a symphony played at once, not just the single note being played currently, and understanding how each note contributes to the overall emotional arc of the piece. This deep empathy often manifests as a quiet, watchful demeanor, as if they are always listening to the silent symphony of time, ensuring its harmony. Another fascinating power is their ability to induce dream weaving, where they can subtly influence the dreams of sentient beings, not to control them, but to impart wisdom, offer guidance, or even provide glimpses of potential futures. These dream messages are rarely direct or explicit. Instead, they are woven into the fabric of the dream narrative, appearing as symbolic imagery, vivid metaphors, or sudden, profound insights that resonate deeply upon waking. A struggling artist might dream of a magnificent, impossible landscape, inspiring a new, creative direction. A leader facing a difficult decision might dream of a long forgotten legend that subtly illuminates the path forward. These dream visits are gentle, often indistinguishable from ordinary dreams, yet they leave a lasting impression, a quiet knowing that guides the dreamer in their waking life. It's like a gentle breeze, rustling through the leaves, not moving the tree, but subtly shifting its perspective. These dream weaves are tailored to the individual, speaking to their subconscious in a language it understands, ensuring that the message is received without causing alarm or fear. This dream weaving often collaborates with their psychic echo projection, an ability to project their thoughts, feelings, or even faint sensory impressions over vast distances, not as direct communication, but as a subtle, pervasive influence. This isn't telepathy in the sense of sending clear messages, but more like a psychic atmospheric pressure that subtly shapes the moods or inclinations of those within its vast radius. A legendary Pokémon wishing to calm a volatile region might project a pervasive sense of tranquility, subtly reducing aggression and fostering cooperation without anyone consciously realizing why they feel more peaceful. Conversely, a legendary Pokémon sensing an impending danger might project a vague sense of unease or caution, prompting individuals to be more vigilant or to avoid certain areas without understanding the source of their apprehension. It's a silent, almost subliminal form of guidance, a gentle nudge from the cosmic currents, influencing the collective consciousness without overtly manipulating individual will. This psychic echo is like a vast, invisible net, gently supporting and guiding the flow of life. The legendary Pokémon also exhibit a phenomenon known as etheric attunement. This is their unique ability to connect with and manipulate the very essence of the ether, a subtle, invisible energy that is believed to permeate all of existence, acting as the fundamental medium for life force, spiritual energy, and even the flow of magic. By attuning to the ether, they can sense imbalances in the natural world, detect intrusions of negative energy, or even facilitate the growth and flourishing of life. This attunement allows them to sense the health of an entire ecosystem, the purity of a water source, or the vitality of a forest, not just on a physical level, but on a deeper energetic plane. It's like having a universal stethoscope, listening to the subtle rhythms and pulses of the world's energetic heart. This connection to the ether also grants them the ability to subtly influence phenomena such as weather patterns, geological activity, or even the growth cycles of plants, not through raw power, but through a gentle guiding hand that encourages harmony and balance within the etheric flow. They are not forcing nature, but rather coaxing it into its most harmonious expression. This etheric attunement often intertwines with their capacity for elemental empathy, allowing them to not only understand, but also profoundly resonate with the fundamental forces of nature. They feel the roar of the wind as if it were their own breath, the tremor of the earth as if it were their own heartbeat, and the flow of water as if it were their own lifeblood. This deep, intrinsic connection means they can sense the subtle shifts in elemental balance, recognizing when a drought is becoming too severe or when a volcanic tremor threatens to escalate. This empathy allows them to act as true guardians of the elements, gently correcting imbalances or mitigating natural disasters, not through brute force, but through a profound understanding and sympathetic alignment with these powerful forces. It's a whisper to the storm, a gentle touch to the earth, guiding them back to equilibrium. They are not masters of the elements, but rather their closest allies, feeling their pain and joy and responding with compassionate wisdom. The legendary Pokémon also possess the intriguing ability of archetypal manifestation. This means they can, under certain conditions, manifest or embody fundamental archetypes, universally recognized patterns of thought, imagery, or behavior that represent core aspects of existence. For instance, a legendary might subtly embody the archetype of the wise elder, inspiring profound respect and a desire for guidance in those who encounter it. Another might manifest as the benevolent protector, instilling a sense of safety and reassurance. These manifestations are not about changing their physical form, but rather about exuding an aura or presence that resonates deeply with the collective unconscious of sentient beings, influencing their perceptions and emotions without direct interaction. It's like a living symbol, evoking deep-seated responses and understanding without a single word being spoken. This allows them to communicate complex ideas or emotional states through their very being, acting as living metaphors for universal truths. Those archetypal manifestations are profound, often leaving a lasting impression and shaping the beliefs and cultural narratives of those who bear witness to them. Furthermore, they exhibit a phenomenon known as temporal stasis pockets. These are localized areas, often around ancient ruins or sacred sites, where the flow of time is significantly altered, either slowing down to a crawl or even momentarily pausing. These pockets are not created by direct intent in most cases, but rather are a natural byproduct of the immense energetic fields generated by certain legendary Pokémon over vast periods. Within these pockets, objects might age at an incredibly slow rate, or events might replay in a loop for an observer, offering glimpses into forgotten pasts. For a legendary Pokemon, these stasis pockets can serve as quiet havens for contemplation, places where they can observe the unfolding of history without being directly bound by its linear progression. For mortals who stumble upon them, these pockets can be disorienting, causing moments of confusion as they step out of ordinary time, but they can also offer unique opportunities for discovery or reflection, providing a brief respite from the relentless march of the present. Imagine a single drop of water suspended in midair, shimmering, holding a moment indefinitely. Finally, we consider the rare and mystical ability of cosmic attunement via stellar navigation. This is more than merely knowing the stars. It is an ability to sense and interpret the subtle, energetic currents emanating from celestial bodies, using them as a vast, living map that not only guides their physical journeys, but also informs their understanding of cosmic events. Legendary Pokemon with this ability can read the destiny of planets in the alignment of constellations, predict shifts in global energy patterns by observing meteor showers, or even discern the birth and death of stars as profound energetic shifts in the cosmic tapestry. They operate on a scale that transcends terrestrial concerns, viewing the entire universe as an interconnected system, and their movements are often influenced by these grand celestial cycles. They might appear in a specific region only when a certain comet passes, or their powers might wax and wane with the phases of distant moons. This stellar navigation is not about plotting a course from point A to point B, but about understanding the very pulse of the cosmos and aligning their existence with its profound silent rhythm. It is a deep, instinctual connection to the universe, a silent dance with the stars themselves, guiding them through the quiet, endless night. It is a connection so profound that it often manifests in their very being, their forms sometimes echoing the celestial bodies they are so attuned to, their colors shifting with the hues of nebulae, or their movements mimicking the graceful, deliberate paths of planets in orbit. This cosmic attunement allows them to sense disruptions in the fabric of space-time, to anticipate cataclysms long before they manifest on a terrestrial level, and to understand the implications of events that mortals might perceive as mere natural disasters. They are, in essence, living astronomical observatories, their consciousnesses vast enough to encompass the intricate ballet of galaxies. This understanding also grants them an almost uncanny ability to navigate even the most treacherous or disorienting environments, for they do not rely solely on terrestrial landmarks, but on the grand, unchanging signposts of the cosmos. Lost in a dense fog or a bewildering labyrinth, a legendary Pokemon with cosmic attunement might simply wait, feeling the faint pull of a distant star, aligning themselves with its silent guidance. This isn't about magic in the conventional sense, but about an evolved, intrinsic understanding of physics and energy on a scale that humans are only beginning to comprehend. It is a silent, internal compass that always points true, not to north, but to the very heart of the universe itself. Now let us turn our attention to the delicate and profound concept of memory imprinting upon environmental substrates. This is an ability possessed by certain legendary Pokémon, particularly those deeply connected to specific landscapes or ancient places. When a legendary Pokémon spends an extended period in a particular location or experiences a moment of profound emotional or energetic intensity there, their consciousness can leave a faint, energetic echo, an imprint upon the very rocks, water, or air of that environment. These imprints are not mere residual energy. They are fragments of memory, emotion, and even intention, subtly altering the energetic signature of the substrate. For a human or even another Pokemon, these imprints are usually imperceptible, a mere whisper in the wind. However, for those with heightened sensitivities, or for other legendary Pokemon who might be drawn to these sites, these imprints can be accessed, offering glimpses into the past. Imagine walking through an ancient forest where a legendary Pokemon once rested and feeling a sudden, inexplicable sense of peace, or a fleeting echo of a long past, joyful hum. Or perhaps encountering a shimmering pool where a legendary Pokemon once shed a tear of sorrow and feeling a profound, melancholic resonance in the water itself. These imprints are not active projections, but passive reflections, like a mirror holding a faint image long after the object has moved on. They serve as silent historical records, preserving moments of profound significance for millennia. They are the living archives of the world, woven into the very fabric of its existence, waiting to be subtly discovered by those who are attuned. These imprints can also subtly influence the flora and fauna of an area, perhaps causing certain rare plants to flourish in places where a legendary Pokemon once imparted a strong healing presence, or imbuing a spring with unique properties after a legendary Pokemon used it as a source of rejuvenation. The very ground remembers if one knows how to listen. Moving deeper into the mysteries, we encounter the phenomenon of symbiotic resonance with nascent cosmic entities. While many legendary Pokemon are ancient and powerful, some possess a unique connection to entities that are, in a sense, still forming, still in their earliest stages of cosmic existence. These nascent cosmic entities are not fully fledged legendary Pokemon themselves, but rather primordial energies, fragments of nascent stars, or even nascent dimensions that have not yet fully solidified their forms or identities within the known universe. Legendary Pokemon capable of this symbiotic resonance can act as conduits or anchors for these forming entities, helping to stabilize their development or to guide their eventual manifestation. This can be a deeply energy intensive process for the legendary Pokemon involved, as they often have to bridge vast energetic discrepancies between their own established existence and the chaotic, unformed state of the nascent entity. The benefits, however, are immense. The legendary Pokemon effectively gains a deeper understanding of creation itself, witnessing the very genesis of cosmic structures. They might draw upon the raw, unrefined energy of these nascent entities to temporarily augment their own powers, or they might even subtly influence the eventual form and nature of the cosmic entity, shaping its burgeoning identity through their resonant connection. This is a subtle dance of cosmic midwifery, a quiet guiding hand in the birth of new universal phenomena. It speaks to a level of cosmic responsibility that goes far beyond the protection of a single planet, extending to the very architecture of reality itself. These are not relationships of dominance or subservience, but of mutual energetic exchange and profound, silent collaboration. The nascent entity gains stability and direction, while the legendary Pokémon gains unparalleled insight into the fundamental processes of the universe. It is a testament to their role not just as protectors, but as active participants in the ongoing creation and evolution of reality. Consider next the deeply fascinating and often misunderstood concept of dreamscape manipulation and interdimensional dream weaving. Certain legendary Pokemon possess the ability to not merely enter dreams, but to actively shape the dreamscapes of others, and even to weave connections between different dream dimensions. This is far more profound than simply influencing a single dream. It is the ability to construct entire dream realities, complete with their own internal logic, inhabitants, and even their own temporal flow. They can use these dreamscapes for a multitude of purposes: to communicate complex ideas or warnings to individuals who might not be receptive in their waking state, to guide a struggling soul through a period of emotional turmoil by creating a safe, symbolic environment, or even to subtly influence the collective unconscious of a region. Furthermore, their ability to interdimensionally weave dreams means they can connect the dreamscapes of multiple individuals, allowing them to interact within a shared, constructed reality, or even to bridge the dreams of beings across vast distances, or even different planes of existence. This is not about illusion in the traditional sense, but about creating palpable, experiential realities within the realm of the subconscious. For a legendary Pokemon, the dream world is not merely an escape, but a vast, malleable canvas upon which they can paint profound lessons, offer solace, or even subtly alter the course of destiny by planting seeds of inspiration or insight within the minds of sleepers. Imagine a legendary Pokemon gently guiding a troubled leader through a series of vivid dreams, helping them to discover a solution to a complex problem, or allowing two separated lovers to meet and find comfort in a shared, exquisitely crafted dreamscape. The boundaries between waking and dreaming can blur under their influence, as the insights gained in these carefully woven dream realities can have a profound and lasting impact on the waking world. It is a quiet, ethereal power, working unseen yet capable of shaping the very fabric of perception and understanding. Let us now explore the profound ability of elemental essence transcription and ecological memory preservation. This is a specialized ability found in legendary Pokemon deeply connected to the natural world and its cycles. It involves the capacity to transcribe, or essentially download, the fundamental elemental essence of a region, a particular species, or even a specific natural phenomenon, and to preserve this essence within their own being or within a designated sacred site. This is not about physical collection, but about capturing the energetic blueprint, the very soul of an elemental aspect. For example, if a forest is facing imminent destruction, a legendary Pokemon might undertake a ritual of elemental essence transcription, absorbing the unique energetic signature of that forest, its specific balance of earth, water, air, and fire energies, the collective consciousness of its flora and fauna, its historical memories, and preserving it. This preservation ensures that even if the physical manifestation is lost, the essential spirit, the ecological memory of that place or species continues to exist. This essence can then, under specific circumstances, be used to help regenerate a devastated area, to reintroduce a lost species by providing a foundational energetic template for its return, or simply to ensure that the unique energetic fingerprint of a natural phenomenon is never truly extinguished. It is a form of cosmic conservation, a way of safeguarding the biodiversity and elemental integrity of the world on an energetic plane. Imagine a legendary Pokémon holding within itself the vibrant, shimmering essence of a coral reef that has been destroyed, its colors, its life, its ancient hum preserved, waiting for the conditions to be right for its remanifestation. Or perhaps carrying the primal roar of a volcano that has gone dormant, its fiery spirit maintained. This ability highlights their role as guardians of the fundamental energies that compose our world, ensuring that even in the face of widespread change or destruction, the core blueprint of life and nature can endure. They are the living repositories of Earth's elemental spirit, carrying the echoes of forgotten ecosystems and the potential for future regeneration within their very forms. Finally, we turn to the intricate and subtle power of harmonic resonance with planetary ley lines and geoenergetic conduits. The Earth itself is crisscrossed by an invisible network of energetic pathways, often referred to as ley lines or geoenergetic conduits. These are not merely mythical concepts. They represent flows of subtle telluric energy that connect significant geographical features, ancient sites, and power spots across the planet. Certain legendary Pokémon possess an innate ability to sense, interpret, and even subtly influence these ley lines. They can perceive the ebb and flow of these planetary energies, understanding where they converge, where they are strong, and where they are weak. By resonating with these ley lines, they can draw upon vast reserves of planetary energy, channel it for their own purposes, or even subtly alter the energetic balance of an entire region. This resonance can manifest in various ways. A legendary Pokémon might choose to rest at a specific ley line nexus to recharge its own energy, or it might subtly redirect a powerful energy current to foster growth in a barren land or to quell a geological disturbance. Their movements across the globe are often implicitly guided by these energetic pathways, as they are drawn to areas of high resonance or called to places where the planetary energy balance is in need of adjustment. This ability gives them a profound connection to the Earth as a living, breathing entity, allowing them to act as its energetic acupuncturists, maintaining its health and vitality. Imagine a legendary Pokémon feeling the subtle hum of the planet beneath its feet, understanding the Earth's pulse, its breathing, its very consciousness. Their presence can strengthen the flow of these lines, purify stagnant energies, or even open new conduits to allow vital energy to circulate more freely. This is a quiet, constant guardianship of the planet's fundamental life force, a silent dedication to maintaining the energetic harmony of the world. They are the Earth's conscience, its energetic regulators, ensuring its deep, internal balance remains undisturbed, allowing life to flourish upon its surface. They are the silent, powerful heartbeats of the planet, intertwined with its very essence, a profound and continuous connection to the beating pulse of the world. This profound connection to the planet's energies also explains a great deal about their extended lifespans, their resilience against the passage of time, and their ability to often transcend the ordinary cycles of birth and decay that govern most other living creatures. By tapping into these fundamental planetary energies, they are not merely sustained, but are continually renewed, drawing vitality from the very source of life itself. It is a form of perpetual energetic regeneration, allowing them to witness epochs, to sleep for centuries, and to reawaken as if no time at all has passed, their forms as vibrant and potent as ever. This deep energetic communion allows them to exist outside the conventional biological limitations, making them truly ancient beings, living relics of a primordial world, yet perpetually vital and active when their presence is required. Moving now from the terrestrial to the celestial, we consider the cosmic influence that shapes many legendary Pokémon. Their origins are not always rooted in the Earth itself, but often in the vast, silent expanse of space among the stars and galaxies. Many legends speak of Pokémon arriving from meteorites or being born from cosmic phenomena, carrying within them the stardust of distant nebulae and the echoes of cosmic creation. Take, for instance, the legendary Pokémon Deoxys. Its very existence is tied to extraterrestrial origins, having mutated after exposure to a laser beam in space. Its form is fluid, shifting between attack, defense, speed, and normal forms, a testament to its alien biology and its adaptation to different cosmic conditions or perhaps different planetary environments it has encountered across the cosmos. Its crystalline core, glowing with an otherworldly light, is said to be its brain, a complex organ capable of extraordinary intelligence and powers far beyond the understanding of terrestrial science. Deoxys is an embodiment of cosmic evolution, a creature that has traversed the void, carrying with it the secrets of distant worlds and the potential for life to adapt and thrive in environments utterly hostile to our own. Its very presence on Earth challenges our understanding of life, suggesting that the universe teems with diverse forms of existence, some perhaps even more ancient and evolved than anything we have yet conceived. Similarly, the lore surrounding the creation trio of Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina speaks to an even grander cosmic scale. These are not merely powerful creatures, they are the very fabric of reality itself. Dialga, the master of time, holds sway over its flow, allowing it to accelerate, slow, or even stop it entirely. It is the living embodiment of chronology, the reason why moments progress from past to present to future. Its roar is said to resonate through all time, its very breath shaping the temporal landscape. Imagine the profound implications of such a being. Every sunrise, every sunset, every blossoming flower, every falling leaf, every beat of your heart is intricately linked to Dialga's eternal presence. Without it, time itself would unravel, leaving behind an incoherent jumble of moments, a universe without sequence or meaning. Its existence is a profound anchor for the very concept of progression, a silent, ceaseless architect of duration. Palkia, on the other hand, commands space. It is the living manifestation of spatial dimensions, capable of creating or destroying space and distorting distances at will. It is the reason why objects have dimensions, why there is distance between stars, why the universe expands. Palkia's breath is said to create new universes, new dimensions, new spatial realities. Its presence ensures that there is here and there, that objects occupy distinct locations, that the universe has form and extent. Without Palkia, space would collapse, All things would occupy the same point, an unimaginable cosmic singularity. Together, Dialga and Palkia represent the fundamental pillars of our perceived reality: time and space, intertwined and inseparable, yet each governed by a distinct, colossal entity. Their power is not merely destructive or generative, it is foundational, upholding the very framework of existence. And then there is Giratina, the rogue member of this cosmic trio, banished to the distortion world for its violent nature. The distortion world is a realm of antimatter, a dimension where the laws of physics, as we know them, are inverted or simply do not apply. Gravity can be subjective, space can twist and fold, and time can flow in unpredictable ways. Giratina, in its origin form, is a serpentine, six-legged being, constantly shifting and flowing, a creature perfectly adapted to this chaotic, upside-down reality. It represents the antithesis of the stable, ordered universe maintained by Dialga and Palkia. Some lore suggests that Giratina's role, despite its banishment, is vital. It is the guardian of the balance between the two worlds, preventing the main universe from being overwhelmed by antimatter, or perhaps acting as a cosmic garbage disposal for anomalies within the fabric of reality. Its existence, though fearsome, is a necessary counterpoint to the creation of time and space, a reminder that even in order, there must be an element of chaos or an opposing force to maintain equilibrium. These three beings, though rarely seen and barely understood, orchestrate the very stage upon which all life, all events, and all existence unfold. Their powers are not just immense, they are existence itself. Beyond these cosmic architects, we find other legendaries whose origins whisper of alien worlds and deep space. Solgaleo and Lunala, the emissaries of the sun and moon respectively, are not merely terrestrial Pokémon. They are described as coming from another dimension, or ultraspace, acting as conduits between worlds. Solgaleo, with its radiant body and sun-like presence, is said to consume light and convert it into energy, traveling through dimensions by opening ultra wormholes. It is a creature of pure solar energy, a celestial lion traversing the cosmic sea. Lunala, on the other hand, absorbs light, transforming it into moonlight, and is said to be able to open ultra wormholes by consuming light. Its ethereal, bat-like form, glowing with a soft lunar luminescence, embodies the mystery and quiet power of the night sky. These two represent the cosmic dance of light and shadow, day and night, not as earthly phenomena, but as universal forces flowing from distant realms. They are living gateways, connecting our world to the infinite possibilities of the multiverse, reminding us that our planet is but one small part of a much grander, interconnected cosmic tapestry. Then there are the meteoritic Pokémon, like Rayquaza, whose very existence is often linked to the upper atmosphere and even beyond. While Rayquaza is typically associated with the ozone layer, maintaining balance between Kyogre and Gruden, its origins are sometimes hinted to be from space, a celestial dragon descending to Earth to mediate earthly conflicts. Its ability to mega-evolve without a megastone, drawing power directly from meteoroids and atmospheric energy, further emphasizes its connection to cosmic elements. It is a creature of the sky, but a sky that extends far beyond our atmosphere into the cold vacuum of space, a guardian not just of Earth's climate, but perhaps of its cosmic integrity. The concept of legendary Pokémon as embodiments of fundamental forces extends to those who represent abstract concepts, not just physical elements or cosmic laws. Take Arceus, often referred to as the original one. Its legend states that it emerged from an egg in a vortex of nothingness before the universe existed, then shaped the world with its 1,000 arms, creating Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, and perhaps many other legendaries as well. Arceus is the ultimate creator, the progenitor of all things, the embodiment of primordial chaos and ultimate order. It is described as having plates, each representing a different type, allowing it to change its type at will. This suggests that it doesn't just control types, it is the very essence of each type, the fundamental definer of elemental properties within the Pokémon world. Its power is beyond comprehension, its wisdom immeasurable, its presence a silent, omnipresent force that underpins all existence. Arceus is not merely a god, it is the very concept of divinity, the ultimate source from which all other power flows, a being whose creation is the universe itself. To encounter Arceus would be to stand before the very genesis of reality, to witness the silent roar of creation itself. This incredible depth of lore surrounding legendary Pokémon, whether they are guardians of earthly elements, architects of cosmic laws, or embodiments of abstract concepts, contributes to their enduring mystique. They are not simply powerful creatures to be caught and battled, they are living myths, breathing embodiments of forces that shape the world and the universe. Their stories are interwoven with the very fabric of existence, offering glimpses into the profound mysteries of creation, life, and the delicate balance that sustains everything. Falling asleep to these tales is to drift into a world where ancient powers stir, where the universe whispers its secrets, and where the boundaries of imagination blur with the boundless possibilities of a truly magical world. Each legend, each myth, each cryptic clue about their origins and abilities serves to deepen our appreciation for their unique place in the Pokémon world, and by extension, in the collective consciousness of those who ponder these grand narratives. They are the quiet giants, the silent guardians, the cosmic weavers, dreaming the world into being and maintaining its delicate equilibrium. Their presence is a constant reminder of the incredible, often unseen, forces at play around us, forces that shape destinies and define the very nature of reality. They are the ancient echoes, the living legends, forever watchful, forever potent, forever dreaming.